Harbor Heritage Park where I hike every day. And some history and stuff. It says this 400-acre provincial park was built and maintained by the Cole Harbour Parks and Trails Association, which is an all-volunteer, not-for-profit, community-based group who are interested in preserving the cultural and natural history of the area. We believe the flora and fauna of this park need special protection, well, the animals too, I think, and we ask for your support by obeying the rules and regulations. That's all the rules are there for, just to, you know, keep the park beautiful. There's the park. Poor barn used to be right there. And right where I'm standing, there used to be another barn. You see? See the picture down here? There's the barn, and I'm standing right here. Big horses and all that. That was taken probably when I was just a kid. Colorado, obviously. That's that back in the 70s. So, here's another cool picture. Look at that. They're sitting on the plow there, plowing the fields, cutting the fields with the lawnmower and all that. They're out there with their rakes, collecting all the hay for their animals. And up here we got some people just came back from the down at the harbor catching flounders. Those are flounders. See the fish? Pretty cool, eh? Yeah. I love catching flounders. They're cool. And here's the history part. It says this land was part of a large grant to Bissett and Harper families, and in 1781, luxuriant hardwoods covered the low, rounded hills, indicating productive, well-drained soil. Great for farming. The hills and formations known as drumlins consisted of glacial till that was left by the ice age 10,000 years earlier. The trees provided building materials, fuel, and lumber to sell so they could maintain, you know, their families and stuff. The land was cleared of all the trees, hay, and mixed crops and livestock took their place. But you can see some of the trees are still growing back, which is nice. But there used to be giant old growth trees here back then. Right down the bottom it says schooners, like the Blue Nose too. The Blue Nose on the Canadian Dime. Yep, that's a schooner. That's a racing ship, eh? They built them for racing, but they're really good for working too. Before they put the trains and stuff in here, they use it says schooners. Some built on the shores of Cole Harbour. Yep, some of them were built right here. Sailed up the deep channels into the harbor, which I didn't even know. I was like, oh my god, I didn't think you could put a ship in there, but that's cool. So it says, schooners, some built on the shores of Cole Harbour, sailed up the deep channels in the harbor, providing a more reliable method for shipping lumber and farm produce to Halifax than the steep, rough overland tracks that pass for roads. Yeah, they had some pretty hardcore dirt roads. And 2 centuries of farming have created the picturesque rural landscape that characterizes this part of the park now. So that's pretty cool, eh? So this is all big forest way back. There's all kinds more fields up in the back, and over there, and over there, and over there, and over there, and yeah. Costly farmer, see the porcupine? That was all farm too. So here's where the trail starts, right there. My house is like right there, so yeah, it goes down through here and past the old cemetery and the barn, and that's where I am right now, right there. And I walk down to here. This is where I feed the ducks. And you go down here, and this is where I took my canoe. I went down here with my canoe down the highway to here, down the trail to here, all the way down that trail, and then I launched my canoe in there. Then I canoed up around here, past the Feather Island to what I call Plentiful Island, and then the 2 islands, Grassy and Inukshuk Island, that's what I call them. And I didn't go to this one. This one's kind of an island, but it's kind of attached to land during low tide. And then you can go further, and then there's another couple little islands there that I want to check out some other time. And Glasgow Island, which is where all the geese go hang out. And then up here's another island. Oh yeah, check it out. Cole Harbour's pretty big, man. Yep. So it's pretty shallow right around here, like all in here it's pretty shallow, but once you get out here it gets quite deep. No wonder they put those they had the schooners going through there, eh? So the park is pretty big. They say 400 hectares or 400 acres, sorry. And sometimes I'll walk down to here, I'll go up here, then up through Costley Farm Trail, and then I cut through the Porcupine Trail, which goes right back down to the road there, and then back around there. Sometimes I'll go right down here and then back. And then you go up the Salt Marsh Trail from there. You can go up and then way up towards Lawrencetown Beach, which is way far down. And if you want to go the other direction, you can go towards Shearwater, where they have the stupid airport at, the military airport. And you go past the brooks here, which is pretty cool, man. You got the little brooks way down here. It's pretty cool, man. And anyways, that's just a bit of the area. There's a map of it right there. So, I'm going to keep hiking here. Hope you guys like that little bit of history. Oh my lord, look at that, there's more. Yeah. It says Halifax County Municipality purchased the land from Harriet Roche in 1886 for $1,730 to build Poor's Farm, later to be known as Halifax County Home. The residents who were able to help work the land and raise food for the institution and for sale. The stones were cleared and the fields are evidence of this labor. Cole Harbour was a productive agricultural community from this settlement in the date of 18th century. In the late 18th century, until overtaken by modern development in the late 20th century. The mixed farms and self-sufficiency of the pioneer families gave way to the market, gardening and dairying by the end of the 19th century. Using hotbeds and later greenhouses, Cole Harbour farmers were able to produce large amounts of fresh produce for the Halifax area and to export. In the 20th century, a few farmers expanded into poultry, and there's still a chicken farm up over across the highway down the back here. I used to buy eggs there when I was with my dad when I was a kid, and they still sell them now. So they expanded into poultry and hog production. Yeah, they had pig farms. They just tore a huge one down up by Russell Lake, where I go fishing for pickerel too. Yeah, they got a new subdivisions in there, unfortunately. And since the 18th century, many Cole Harbour farmers had been regular vendors in the Halifax city market. Others supplied the grocery stores on both sides of the Halifax Harbour. Some farmers, especially those living near the harbour, which is Cole Harbour, continued to rely on seaweed for fertilizer, kelp, eelgrass for insulation and mulch, and you still see eelgrass in some of the old houses around here. Yep, that's what they use for insulation. And as well as the fish and game for food and for sale, and well into the 20th century. Like even in the 70s, you could still buy produce that was grown around here. So I'm sure there's still a handful of small farms. So it says, what else? Today, with its farming past, is all but forgotten. No, it's not forgotten. Not at all. Not in my head. These fields remain as testaments to the skills and hard work that made Cole Harbour's farmers some of the best in the province. The humans enjoyed this natural bounty in pre-settlement Micmac times, and throughout the 18th, 19th, and 20th centuries, harvesting fish, shellfish, clams, normally, and mussels, game and berries, blueberries and blackberries and raspberries, and of course the pheasants and the deer, you know. And it says, following settlements, residents often supplied visiting sportsmen with accommodations like boats, bait, and guides. That's what I want to be, a guide. Well, it's often wealthy and distinguished visitors to Halifax, like the young future King George V, were brought out to Cole Harbour and treated to a day's sport on the marsh, which was, well, duck and goose hunting back then. You're not allowed now. It says, today the surrounding parkland helps protect their former farmland, woodland, marsh, and wildlife for the enjoyment of nature lovers and photographers. The park provides a buffer around the salt marsh, helping to ensure clean, safe water in the harbor at Rainbow Haven Beach. Rainbow Haven Beach is way down at the end of Bissett Road here. It's a really cool little beach. I don't know about surfing it, but it's a pretty cool place to go hang out in the waves. It's quite a popular beach. It's the closest one to Cole Harbor here. So check it out. There's an old hay wagon there. The old wagon wheels on there. And that one looks like it's in the 70s there. Look at that. There's the two islands right there, I think. That's a couple of the islands down here in Cole Harbor. A couple of kids that caught a big old flounder. That's a giant flounder, eh? Check that out. Nice, eh? Yeah. And what do we got here? Ah, there's a hunter. Looks like down Costly Farm here. Got his hunting dogs. Looks like either some Springer Spaniels, or yeah, they look like Springer Spaniels. Up here he's got a wagon, some ladies there, and a horse. And it looks like a rich visitor guy. Yeah. So that's the Heritage Park history anyway. And before that, you know, this was all Micmac land, right? Yes, man. All Micmac land. I think all Nova Scotia is still Micmac land myself, but you know how the government says it nowadays. Whatever, man. Anyways, thanks for watching this little bit. I'm going to keep on hiking down the trail here, and we'll see what I can find and add to the video today. Hey, thanks for watching, man. Cheers. Caps it.